Hey, ladies and gents, it's Sister Wiz here with the review of the Mythic Legions Boneheads, Bone Wings, and Belt Packs. The belt accessories packs. So this is probably going to be a bit shorter and a bit different of a review because this isn't an actual figure. These are just accessories, heads, and bone wings that you can use with your figures, like for example your Topiculi, to mix and match and create new characters. So let's start with I know a lot of people are less excited about these, but I know customizers are super excited. The belt packs, here they are. People have been clamoring for these for a while. I never thought too much about the old belt packs, but they really didn't fit well on all the figures. They could be strapped across the chest sometimes, but these give you all sorts of versatility. There's one that goes over the shoulder, thinner ones, thicker ones, just all that. I'm not going to go into all the vagaries of it, but 2 belt packs came in all in. I don't know why they have different packaging. I think they're pretty much the same belt pack as far as I can tell, or the same set of belts in there, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I am wrong in the comments. But anyway, belt packs, one in brown and one in black, and the same set of belts. So I guess the brown ones are less evil than the black ones or whatever, but it's very cool to finally have belts in black, because before I only have a few figures, I think maybe Sir Gerard, were able to have the cool belts that were black. So great for customizers and great for just upgrading and popping swapping onto your old figures and just making them look super deluxe, an upgrade. So those are the belt packs. Then the highlight of the accessories for me is the boneheads. It comes with an extra neck piece that was sort of taped in with a baggie in the back. So there is this skeletal neck piece. There's also a second skeletal neck piece there. One is shorter and one is longer. And there's a gray neck piece, like an undead neck piece. And then there's like a little meat pack, for lack of a better word, a little piece that came in the head of the headless horseman, and that's like a decapitated head. So you pop that in if you have a decapitated figure. You have this neck, undead neck, you have the shorter skeletal neck, and then you have the longer skeletal neck. In case you have a figure that you want to put soft goods on or whatever, and you want the head to sit up higher. So let's look at the other heads. You have this guy who's used to be Hagnon, and then everybody discovered that if you paint Hagnon, you have an awesome, super detailed head sculpt there, and that's what you get with painted Hagnon. He's undead. You need these to fill out your undead packs, or to create zombies, or to create vampires that have been on a long nap. Here's another undead head with the gaping mouth and the bared teeth. Hagnon, I love having these different expressions. This one could be angry or unhappy, and this one could be contemplative or sad, or just, half dead. It's undead. I don't want to crinkle too much, but let me take, sorry, I apologize for the crinkling ahead of time. I think this is a wolf skull, but obviously very cool. You might want to use them on your chimera, but long canines in the front. So I'm guessing wolf. I'm not an expert at this sort of thing. But from the size of the skull. Another big highlight is this gorilla skull. So if it takes 100 men to beat a gorilla, what about undead gorilla? How many men would it take? How many undead men? It just shows, how thick and big a gorilla skull is. And I think this was maybe made because Hornboy loves gorillas, and he got Eric Treadaway to sculpt him one. And so we are the thankful recipients of this Very, very cool gorilla sculpt. And this head with the large canine teeth in front, the protruding brow ridges. You know, I mean, it could be like one of my brothers who are somewhat gorilla-like, but I'm pretty sure that is a gorilla head. And then you have what I believe, this could be like some sort of hybrid, because it looks like in the back it has the molars. So you're thinking that you're having like a horse or, you know, maybe a deer or something, but then in the front it has the canine. So this might be a fantastical creature head. Not sure what, but it is very cool looking as well. Then some what appear to be there's a human skull. We've got plenty of those. We've gotten plenty of those. Then we've got like what looks like a vampire skull, and then maybe an orc skull. And you can just tell because of, you know, the size and thickness of the brow ridges and the fact that he's got these big teeth coming out. So, and then this guy looks a little more snooty, so I'm guessing he's a vampire. Let's take a quicker look at that. And look at that. How cool is it? Undead vampire with a jaw, a hinged jaw. Now that is scary. So you have that. Let me make sure. I think all of these have hinged jaws. Yes, and yes, they also have hinged jaws as well. I'll try to keep the crinkling to a minimum for you guys, but the head pack is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads, 3 neck pegs, a meat, for lack of a better term, meat pack for a decapitated head. So very, very cool. A lot of people have been clamoring for this sort of thing in the past, and I'm really glad that we're able to get these very cool head packs. Last but not least, we have the bone wings. Here they are. They're not assembled. They're huge. If you've got a Necronominus figure, you know what these look like. You've dealt with these. I want to give a shout out to a guy back from the Fantastic Forums, Ed Wasek. I believe he was the first one who suggested that they create bone wings, and they created a smaller set that I put on my Voltus, was my vulture. So I always thought made him extra special because he had, you know, he was a scavenger and a death creature with bone wings, and it added that element of, you know, mysteriousness and supernatural, because how do you fly with bone wings, right? But those were a lot smaller, but I just thought that was a really cool idea that we were able to get that with Gothotropolis. And then they also gave us a head that was like a dead bird head, so you could have a boned wings and a dead head with Gothotropolis. So shout out to Ed Wasek, extremely talented artist who has contributed a ton to the line, including, you know, he was the one that did the mock-ups for us on Vorgus Vermilius and gave us that cool, you know, blood armor look to choose from. Hopefully he's doing well. So anyway, I had taken that out of the package. This is what the bone wings package looks like. It's got the neat, you know, scene on the back, and then this. But once you have them out, there is some assembly required, so that each wing has, let's see, it's this one. No, I think that's is that the right way? No, I think that's the wrong way. See, this is probably something I should have figured out earlier. Anyway, they go in like that, and then you have 4 bony fingers on each side and like a little thumb. It's kind of like a hand, like a bony hand. And then they're articulated in here, and I believe that's it. So those are the bone wings. Very cool. They match the bone color of the skulls. They match the trapeculi. We also have the trapeculi also has some kind of like vestigial wings on him. But if you want him to have one of those, you know, if you want him to have those huge bone wings, then you can always add this and make him even bigger and more imposing. And I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to have those big bone wings on my Terpiculi, so he could be even more spectacular and take up even more cool shelf space. So I think the bone wings are also the reason that we get all these wing packs with the skeletons. I was scratching my head about that. Why do we get so many wing adapters and stuff with the skeletons? I think that's because of the bone wings and skeletal bone wings on a skeleton and a skeleton angel or demon or whatever. I think that's a pretty cool idea. So not a figure. I still have a few more figures to review, but I wanted to get this out there because people had been requesting that we take a look at the bone wings and the belt packs and all that, especially the customizers, right? So that's it for the accessory packs, the Undead head pack, and the bone wings. It's the Wiz, signing out.